Just wanted to talk a little bit about some basic Sai fundamental things. First off is sizing. So if I get my thumb in here, and right now that is an entire fist length, like 4 fingers underneath my elbow. That's a little bit too long for my body. When I'm doing certain motions, I'm going to have to make adjustments, and it's going to feel a little bit awkward to me being that long. Plus, if you're wearing the gi that have short sleeves, they'll tend to get caught up inside there. This set right here is about 1-2 fingers, so it's a little bit shorter, and that's about the right size for me. And then of course, these are some like kid Sai. They're a little bit shorter in my elbow, and they just don't really feel right because they're a little bit shorter, and the balance is going to feel a little bit different for my body. I'm going to show the basic Kuniyoshi or Kunishi no Sai flip. And so I am in this position, and the way you get just the general use of flipping is if you think kind of like an upper block, and everybody's kind of got like different interpretations of that, but the hand is forward of the elbow in this. If I open my fingers, this is going to swing like a pendulum. Okay, so I'm here. If I let it swing and then go forward with it, if I let it swing and go forward with it, that is our basic Kunishi no Sai flip and down strike. So you notice here's an upper forearm strike or an upper block in many systems. As I let this go, this elbow is going to arc just a little bit inside, and I'm going to grab. I'm letting the pendulum, I'm letting gravity do what it does, and letting the weight of the Sai, pommel's going to go this way, the business end is going to go that way. It's a pivot, a fulcrum off of where my thumb is holding onto it. And so this comes up on my left side, and then when I drop down, the tip of this is in alignment with the brachial plexus, where the arm ties into the torso. So that's our standard skeleton flip, our foundational flip that students learn when they're just first learning to do the Kunishi or Kuniyoshi flip. And again, spelling Kunishi or Kuniyoshi, same word, it's just how you pronounce it, Okinawan versus Japanese. So upper block, and then let gravity do its work, and you come to here. Now when you end up using 2 Sai, you'll be doing like a cover motion and that. And eventually it'll get to where you don't have to go all the way up here, but that's a good way to start learning. I'm up here, a little less dangerous for a new student to let that swing and come down. Now, I should be able to do that down low, jab, and come here. If I had the longer, 2-3 inches longer, that would flick my chest as I did that motion, as I did the close motion. Up here, long Sai is not going to matter all that much. But if I do jabs and strikes from here, then that is going to end up hitting me. Now, the second level of Kunishi no Sai, you'll see a lot of Oyata practitioners that have a piece of tape on one of the tangs. All right, so if I do the very basic strike, white tape is on the thumb side, and it stays on the thumb side. Now, learning to manipulate your fingers and do some kind of rolling motions, which actually helps with other parts of your open hand kata and open hand techniques, you are going to do this motion. As it starts to swing, your fingers are going to grab and roll it. So I'm going up and rolling it, and you notice it's kind of hard to do slow. As I'm here, that tang is going around a full 360 degrees. I can also just do the 180 version. So here is 180 version. I change the thumb back to the tape side. I'm here. Now I do 360 version. So 180, 360. And these are all exercises that get you doing particular kind of grabbing and curling motions. And you can play a lot with those hand grips and doing various versions of the Kunishi strike flip, whatever you want to call it. I can do that same motion coming across here, so I can go high, middle. I can even do kind of a low strike and come back into that position again, force efficient. And again, paying attention to how that piece of tape is. Uhugushu, Tanmei was one of Taika's instructors, and we have a side kata called Uhugushu. Now, the signature flip on that is a triangle cut motion. So where Kuniyoshi is kind of this motion, I'm coming here and then cutting this under triangle. I'm coming here, this triangle, boom, cut and return. So on this lower triangle, Uhugushu kind of does what I call a lasso motion, drops and then comes up. Right? So it's going to do the upper triangle. So Kuniyoshi, lower triangle, Uhugushu, upper triangle. And so the way that one, slowing it down, breaking it down a little bit, it's almost like a lasso motion. And obviously as you get better, you can do it completely in the front of your body, as long as your side's not too long. You can do it in front of your body at various heights, but learning it, I feel, is best to kind of think of it as a lasso motion. So here's the top of this triangle, I'm coming around and there. And so it's kind of like this motion, and of course my body would be turning as I do that. I'm coming across here, I drop down and then come up and across that angle. So it's here to there. Here is the start. Here, drop and up would be the simplified version of it. So here, trying to rotate, 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 and so you watch that piece of tape is rotating. So one of them I did a 180 turn, one of them I did a 360 turn. Time and a place for both, and both are teaching you a lot of this motion, which helps with your open hand kata motion, open hand techniques. Right? Oh, there I am, up, down, and there's a 180. All right, so those are your fundamental two variations of the kata: Kuniyoshi, low triangle, Uhugushu, top triangle. So eventually you should be able to put those together and have an entire torso and really head, groin. You should have body coverage. Obviously, you know, knees to foot, you're not really covering with your sai unless you're dropping down and doing various things. But I've got top triangle, I've got bottom triangle, and I've got a pretty good understanding with those two kata of overall body coverage. All right, now this motion, this kind of what some people would consider maybe an inside block, is that tang is a good way to hook and catch things, catch a wrist, and catch weapons as well. But this little opening here is very much, and I have control with the pinky and ring finger of grabbing and pulling something in. So not as much, you know, taking blunt strikes and stuff with it, which you can. You can take strikes, deflect strikes. I guess probably be a little bit better way. I don't want to just stand here and take something. I want to deflect. But as we are doing our either of our signature strikes from Kuniyoshi or Uegusku, we are covering, like I would say, kind of hidden strike, take strike. I'm hiding that. I'm deflecting, capturing, maybe striking here and coming in. So you did notice that I've now gone from just your basic strike, your fundamental strike, your skeleton strike, to adding something in there. So there's a pommel strike, Kuniyoshi, and up. All right, lower triangle. Double block. All right, that's all that is. So kake, strike, uegusku, flip. All right, so the second hand, this would be maybe primary, and this would be your support. So those got to work together. As I do things, whenever there's an opportunity, there's somewhat of an opening. So I may kake, strike, pommel, strike. So I just did uegusku, cross, down, up, that upper triangle. But I did kake, capture, uegusku, up, and then hook on the way back. So there's a lot of possibilities for the secondary hand, the support hand, to be doing pommel strikes, hooks, those kind of things. There's also kind of your underhand strike, so that's a very fundamental. Tape is on the thumb side, tape stays on the thumb side, strikes that we do in both kata. That's the fundamental version. You can also, as this is going out, rotate it. So tape is on the top, tape is on the bottom. There's our pommel strike and hook, and flip back. All right, so tape is again on the thumb side or the top side. So kind of an underhand strike with rotation. Once you get used to that, cover, return, and there I am, force efficient again. Force efficient, cover, force efficient. Force efficiency in the things that we do with Oyata's kata, if I am delivering power or pulling with power, I need to be force efficient within a margin of error plus or minus 5 degrees, essentially, as I do things. Strike plus or minus 5 degrees, plus or minus 5 degrees. If I'm just parrying, the support hand does not have to be force efficient. it's doing a circle. It's not possible for it to be force efficient that entire time. It's just connecting, it's transitioning, it's touching something and moving their focus instead of straight at you off to one side or the other. So it doesn't take a whole lot of kinetic energy on my part to move something that's coming towards me. You just got to touch it, right? So it doesn't need to be force efficient. It can be force efficient with both arms if both arms are touching bad guy's arm that's on this side. So realize that I'm not breaking a force efficiency rule by covering across. Now, if this turns into a strike where I'm really trying to put some zing into it, then my body's going to turn, which of course makes it force efficient on impact, and it may carriage over as the parry continues through it. So that's another whole group of discussions, another whole video set. Right now, tape is on the thumb side. If I go double under, obviously one has to be on top. I'll try to do it where it's not. It's kind of hard, but you'll end up hitting them on each other as you go out. So I've gotta slightly raise one arm to do that motion. Again, foundational. There's tape is on the top, it stayed on the top. I can carriage back, right, and flip it 180 degrees as I do that. I can also do 180 degrees as it goes out. So now tape was on the top, it's on the bottom. I can double pommel in and return.